Something has survived. Hey there, welcome back. It's you once again, and I wanna welcome back for another movie review and my video on the second movie in the Jurassic Park franchise, and of course, the second movie, a sequel to 1993 Jurassic Park. And today I'm gonna talk about The Lost World Jurassic Park 1997, which is a sequel. And of course, I do have all three of them. You can see I do have my t-shirt still on it, but I'll just show you quickly the disc. So I will be talking about this film, which is the sequel to the first one. And I really like this film a lot. It's a badass. I like this film a lot. It's not better than the first one, but I like it. I like The Lost World Jurassic Park a lot. It's a good movie, a good follow-up, but at the same time, I feel it's a disappointing sequel and a lackluster movie that could have been better. But this is the back, with Ian, Nick, and Andy searching for Sarah. They came across the pack of stegosaurs. That's from the second movie. And so this is gonna be my video and my review on the movie because I really like this film a lot, but I don't love this movie like I love the first one. The first, I can see I'm a huge fan of the first one. The second one, I'm not that big fan, but I like the film. I'm really glad that I do have the box, that I do have all three of them. And the second movie, I really like a lot the film, but I still think that it suffers from problems, which I'll get to, which I'll talk about how this movie was made, the story, the cast, the problems, and the things that I like at the film. But after the success of the first Jurassic Park movie, the fans, because the first movie was a huge hit, it made $1 billion. The budget was actually was only $60 million, but in opening weekend, in the US, Canada, it grossed $44 million, but then went to $404 million. And like I said, worldwide it made $1 billion. Now, fans pursued and pressured Michael Crichton, rest in peace, the author of Jurassic Park, to write a sequel to the first movie. And it wasn't, and Michael Crichton declined. He said he refused to do so, but because the first movie was such a great hit, Steven Spielberg returns, and this is actually a rare sequel that Steven Spielberg directed. It's actually one of rare sequels. Beside Indiana Jones was the rare sequel Steven Spielberg went and directed. And honestly, that was really awesome. That was really awesome to do the sequel. It actually really was awesome, by him. But Steven Spielberg was then, he returned and asked David Coape, who was also writer of the first movie, and Michael Crichton for an ideas, for the second movie. David Coape returned from the first movie and he wrote the screenplay. And then Michael Crichton had his own idea and he started writing the book, and he wrote the book in 1995 titled The Lost World. So they titled the movie The Lost World Jurassic Park, so that's actually a sequel to the first movie. And Michael Crichton did not do the screenplay, but he wrote a book, so it came out in 1995. So this movie is once again rated PG-13. It's 2 hours and 8 minutes longer, a little longer than the first one. It holds Rotten Tomatoes, I think was 53% on it, and holds the score on IMDb 6.6. So people who claim it's underrated, when I actually read it, the comments yesterday, it's not underrated. This sequel is not underrated. It's still considered a cult classic from Not in my book, not in my opinion, but still considered it became a cult classic film. But I really like The Lost World Jurassic Park. I enjoyed it, but there's some stuff that I didn't enjoy it. And it also this movie was also nominated for an Oscar. It won Academy Award. I think I wrote somewhere down. I think it was for the best effects. I think it won Academy Award for best effect. I guess I forgot to wrote that. Well, it won Academy Award, and the movie was filmed from September till December 1996. And the budget cost to make this movie was actually $75 million. But it actually made it actually grossed in during the weekend in Canada and US actually grossed $229 million, which surpassed the first movie, the grossing during the weekend in the first movie in US Canada. But actually was $72 million opening weekend and grossed to $229 million, made worldwide $618 million. It did not surpass the money gross of the first one, but it still did. It was still a hit that time. It still was actually. It still did a good. I mean, it still did a lot of money. It was still successful, so that's awesome. And also it was released on the 23rd May 1997 when I was that time 13 years old, so that's awesome, it was in the 90s film. So it made premiere in 19 May 1997 Los Angeles, California, but was released everywhere in movie theaters 23rd May 1997. So that's awesome, it's fantastic. Like I said, Steven Spielberg returned, which is a rare sequel that Steven Spielberg directed. So that's another great job by Steven Spielberg that he returned. And I'm glad I do have all three of them. I'm really happy that they have all three of them. Jurassic Park. See the t-shirt because I'm a fan of the first one. And so the story once again. This time, the follow-up after the events of the first movie, Dr. Ian Malcolm returns back in this movie. Jeff Goldblum reprises his role as Dr. Ian Malcolm, a mathematician and chaos theorist. He returns. He's been called by John Hammond. He's not anymore CEO of his company InGen. He's actually asked of if he would be the theme park Jurassic Park is now closed after the events of the first movie because 3 people died, and it's closed on Isla Nublar. Now it's called Isla Sorna, but in the first movie it was called the island Isla Nublar, island of the Costa Rican coast, which is the Costa Rican coast, but it's called now Isla Sorna. And there's actually the open B-side, which it wasn't researched, and John Hammond called a team of scientists and of course a paleontologist, which they will go on expedition on research of the B-side, on the island, which was never mentioned in the first movie. And when Dr. Ian Malcolm refused because he wrote the book, but his nephew Peter Ludlow, played by Arliss Howard from Full Metal Jacket, he made him like a fool, and he completely discriminated his book and made him like a fool. But Ian Malcolm refuses to go back to the island, to the B-side. But when he finds out that his girlfriend, Dr. Sarah Harding, played by Julianne Moore, Julianne Moore stated that she did this movie because she wanted to work with Steven Spielberg and because she needed money to settle her divorce. But Dr. Sarah Harding, she's a paleontologist. She went on expedition on this island to research the dinosaurs, And when, and of course, when Dr. Ian Malcolm finds out, he's outraged and he says, "This is not expedition. It's a rescue mission. It's leaving tonight." I love his lines. It's a rescue mission. It's leaving tonight, and just love that. I forgot to mention, but John Williams came back with a music score. He wrote this time a more darker. This movie is more darker than the first one. He wrote more a darker score, more darker. He didn't took the parts from the first movie, so it's more darker score. But once again, like I said, this is awesome. Jurassic Park, love this movie to death. The last word, Jurassic Park, I enjoy, I like it. So now Dr. Ian Malcolm, he gets back with Eddie Carr and Nick Van Owen, which they go on a rescue mission with a boat on the beach side, Isla Sorna, more in the coast of Costa Rica, but more Isla Nublar, because that was called in the first movie. So they now go to the beach side, and they, like I said, they already come across pack of stegosaurs, in which they actually found Dr. Sarah Harding. She's a paleontologist, just like Dr. Alan Grant was in the first movie, and she was studying, researching dinosaurs in this movie. When we see her, when she goes and searches, but yeah, this is actually the Blu-ray kind of banner. She goes and she searches and studies the dinosaurs. And she came across Ian. Unaware, Dr. Ian Malcolm, he didn't know that also his daughter, Kelly Curtis, played by Vanessa Chester, was also in this B-side in the trailer. And he wants that the both of them, Sarah and she, they go back, where they came from, back where it's safe. Unaware now, because John Hammond is not anymore the CEO, the head of the engine, but his nephew Peter Ludlow took over the company. He hired a troop of hunters. One of them is also Roland Tembo. Roland Tembo, played by Pete Postlethwaite, an English actor. Rest in peace. It's so sad that he passed away, But he, in my opinion, and carried the movie. Roland Tembo was a hunter, a big game hunter. He was a big game hunter who he refused at first, to go on the B side, but he then changed his mind because he wants to hunt the male Tyrannosaurus T-Rex with his pack of hunters, and his partner AJ Sidhu, played by Harvey Jason. They go to hunt the dinosaurs. Peter Ludlow hired those hunters, in which he wants to build a Jurassic Park attraction, the main attraction in San Diego, and they go and hunt the dinosaurs, which they wants to bring them with a cargo ship back to San Diego, because he wants to build a main attraction. Just like his uncle John Hammond wanted to do, to build a main attraction, Jurassic Park, theme park for everyone in the island of Costa Rican coast, on Isla Nublar, more now called Isla Sorna. But now, because Ian has not only a problem, he decides that they're gonna save those animals to be free, on the on the beach side, in the jungle, they're actually going to be free. When Nick Van Owen, who's not only a journalist or photographer, he's also environmentalist. Just like Segal, he was environmentalist. he bring an infant baby T-Rex because he had a broken leg, and Dr. Sarah Harding and Nick Van Owen, they decide to help, and to help the young baby T-Rex, the leg, because it was broken. And Ian and Sarah says Ian's gonna like this, and Ian didn't like that, because he tried to call the helicopter so they'll pick up his daughter Kelly, because she didn't know that this island's very dangerous, by raptors and T-Rex, eating people. And yeah, so he did not know that, but but when he saw in the trailer, what Nick and Sarah did, there's actually a male and female, the parents of Tyrannosaurus T-Rex, who are looking for their baby. And I love when the reflection on Ian Malcolm's face, and it says, "Mom is very angry," and the parents T-Rex, they go, of course, Nick and Sarah, they let the infant go, they only took the bandages, and they take care of they went to take care of the leg, but the parents, Tyrannosaurus T-Rex, male, female, they get pissed and they throw off the trailers off the cliff. And I love the scene in which Eddie Carr, brings with the jeep, and he puts the long rope and he falls down, and he puts the rope and goes with the car, and he keeps he gets reverse. And I love the scene when Nick, Sarah, and Ian, they're now holding the rope which you bring in. And I love when Sarah goes and climbs the rope, and Eddie tries to save them, but he gets eaten by the T-Rex. He gets eaten because the T-Rex, they protected their child, because they went and stole them. They kidnapped. And but even that the trailer falls down, great explosion. That wasn't CGI, it was practical effect, It wasn't CGI, it was really good. The Sarah, Ian, and Nick, they clown up, but they were now found by Roland Tembo and his mercenary hunters. And it turns out one of the hunters is also Peter Stormare, from Prison Break. I think he did The Wind Talkers from John Woo, Dieter Stark, and of course Thomas Rosales Jr. as Carter is also this movie. She was Chico in The Running Man. He was in non-stop movies, but the most I remember is when he was Chico in The Running Man, when his head went blown off. But the actor was in non-stop numerous movies. I think he was in Universal Soldier. He was the head of terrorists. I think he was shot in the head by Dolph Lundgren. But yeah, Thomas Rosales Jr. was in a lot of movies. He was Carter. So yeah, so when Dieter Stark and Nick Van Owen went in the argument, Roland Tembo recognized Nick Van Owen that he's actually that he is a saboteur. He's actually Earth first, that bastard Earth first, that's how he calls him. So now, we found out, and Peter Luger says, what's Earth first? It says in the Van Mist, a criminal saboteur, and Nick Van Owen says, you have no right, you guys have no right to be here, and to kidnap those animals. And Dr. Sarah Harding says they have to move because the Tyrannosaurus, T-Rex is actually hunt, they can smell everything. They actually going to hunt us down. And they build those camp, and I love that the camp scene. but the T-Rex shows up, and Sarah sleeps with Kelly, and there's like T-Rex smells them, looks in the camp, in the he goes in the camp, and he sticks the head in it, in the campsite. I love that scene. That was awesome. That scene was fantastic. It was awesome. That scene was awesome. And one of the problems that I had was when Nick Van Owen took the bullets, the barrels from Roland Tembo. Roland Tembo could save people by the time T-Rex was eaten, because he fired, it was empty. But I love the scene. Roland Tembo then uses the darts, he uses the tranquilizer, that rifle, and the darts, and he goes and pulls asleep, the T-Rex, he captures the T-Rex. But there's also the scene when the hunters try to escape, the Isla Sorna, the B-side, they try to escape. They go in the long, tall grass, they actually been hunted down and eaten by raptors, by pack of raptors. In meantime, Sarah, Nick, Ian, and Kelly are trying to find. They try to find, the center on the B side, on the island. They try to find it. And of course, Nick then calls the helicopters because he finds the center, the site of it. He finds the center, the site, he finds it. So yeah, I forgot to mention, but it's been really long because I watched it last night. It's been really long time since I've seen these movies, and I kind of forgot what actually was next. But yeah, because the hunters, they actually go in the long tall grass, and AJ shouts, "Don't go in the tall grass!" But they ignore them. They get all eaten, by raptors. One by one, they get eaten. And Ian, Sarah, Nick, and Kelly, they run. They also escape. There's also when T-Rex was hunting them down, and they go, Nick, Sarah, and Kelly, they go in this waterfall in the rocks, and AJ finds a snake, the snake, he goes out and gets eaten, but Malcolm shows up. I really like that scene. It has some really good moments and good scenes. Like I said, now Ian and Sarah and Kelly, they're actually in that campsite, in the center side, they all go, and they're now trapped. And I didn't like that scene when she was like, when Kelly was, she was like gymnastic, she was like swinging and then kicking that raptor. I didn't like that scene. I mean, she was like gymnastic, I did not like that scene at all. But they called the helicopters, and then finally Nick stole the barrels. Or there was one scene in which Dieter Stark, he got lost. He took a piece, he got lost, and he was attacked by he actually was attacked by Compis, more called Compis, he was attacked. That was kind of sluggish scene. I didn't like it. That scene, I didn't like it. But he was killed, while Carter didn't hurt it. They tried to find him. They couldn't, that scene wasn't really my favorite. Anyway, so now AJ didn't make it, and Roland Tembo, he got paid, he found the trophy, but he left, Roland Tembo left, and now the cargo ship was taking over the T-Rex because he captured T-Rex. They bring the T-Rex in San Diego, in which in San Diego, Peter Ludlow decided to put a main attraction of Jurassic Park with T-Rex. And where the cargo, the ship, everyone, the crew is beneath it. You can see the hand, the hand on the wheel. And the T-Rex is now angry because they also found an infant. They also stole the infant they found an infant. And now I love that the final scene, in my opinion, saved the film, in which Ian and Sarah, they actually go and they go in city San Diego. They actually drove to Amphitheater Harbor, and they go and pick up infant because now it's like Godzilla, the same year, no, actually it was a year later was Godzilla with Roland Emmerich. But yeah, but like I said, T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus T-Rex is now hunting people. He's looking for water, and he goes and eats the dog. I mean, I love my dog, so so no, T-Rex is not gonna eat my dog, oh, my dog. So T-Rex is not gonna eat my dog. So yeah, I love my dog, so I had to show you that, But T-Rex is not gonna eat my dog, but he goes and drinks the water, the pool, eats the dog. There's this kid who says, there's a dinosaur. He wakes up the parents, and they don't believe in the story, so they go look for it. So they go check it out, and there's a really dinosaur, and he eats the dog. I didn't like that, but the kid takes the flash with the camera. And in the meantime, Ian and Sarah, they drove with red convertible into the Amphitheater Harbor and pick up the infant, and they go with the theater, and I think that Sarah asks where how they'll find him, and Ian Malcolm says follow the screams. There's like people screaming. I forgot to mention, there's a video store, and you can see Arnold Schwarzenegger face on it. And there's also Tom Hanks in it, and the boss, when the T-Rex destroys the boss, the boss, lands right in the store, breaks the glass and the poster of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Arnold Schwarzenegger gets hit in this movie, which is awesome. In meantime, Ian and Sarah, they located the T-Rex, and they make sure that he follows it, just like he did the first time. He goes and follows them now. to the docks on the cargo ship. And Peter Ludlow says, shoot the T-Rex. And Peter Ludlow sees Sarah and Ian, and he follows them. And Sarah Ian puts the baby infant in the ship, in the cargo. Peter Ludlow wants to get the infant, but he gets captured by a baby T-Rex. He gets captured now by T-Rex, and T-Rex, they make sure, the parent makes sure that that his baby T-Rex goes and eats Peter Ludlow because he captured them. And meantime, when he's in the cargo ship, with the door, Sarah uses the tranquilizer dart and the rifle, and she fires right in the neck, and she puts to sleep the Tyrannosaur, the T-Rex, and Ian closed the door of the cargo. So now the ship goes back and takes them back to the island. Peter Ludlow is killed in this movie, so the ship takes them back. And we see the final scene of John Hammond, who said that they need to be, we see a Stegosaurus and Tyrannosaurus Rex, on the Isla Bisorna. But yeah, it was Isla Nublar, but this was Isla Sorna, the B-side. Now, so now that's the story. The cast. Now I'm gonna talk about the cast. Now, there are 4 cast members I actually hate in this film. That's one of the reasons I think it's kind of disappointing. The cast could have been a little better. I hate this guy. I hate this guy, Ian Malcolm, in this movie, played by Jeff Goldblum. Why? He's a jackass. He's the biggest jackass, you know. Even in that movie, that kid says that he's like more full of himself. He is a full of himself. I mean, he's like stone cold mean towards towards John Hammond. He didn't even show a fucking respect. And he was like trying to expose what happened in the island. I mean, only to get profit and money. And he was a selfish dick and a prick in this movie. I hated him in this movie, you know. So yeah, I hated him in this movie. I hated Kelly Curtis as Vanessa Chester. Hated her. I hate the actress. I don't know why the fuck she's black or why even Ian is white, but his daughter is black. I hated her. I hated the actress. Fuck the actress. I hated her. Vince Vaughn. Fuck Vince Vaughn. I hated him too. I hated him. I hated the scene when he stole the barrels, you know, from Roland Tembo. Because of him, people died, but no one complained about it. Vince Vaughn fucking sucks. I hate the guy. This guy can die. I hate him. You know, I hate it because this is his first serious movie. He's a comedian. He's a shitty comedian, and I hate him. And I hated that he went and stole the barrels when Roland Tembo could save people, but because of him, T-Rex killed and eat people in the campsite. You know, so I hated Vince Vaughn. I still hate that bastard. I hate the guy. I hate him. I think those are the 3 people that I hated the most. And I hated Peter Stormare as Dieter Stark. I hate the guy. I hate the guy too. I hated Peter Stormare too. You know, those 4 cast members sucked. I hated Ian Malcolm. I hated Kelly Curtis. I hated Vince Vaughn. I hate still Vince Vaughn. I hate him because he's a comedian. He's a shitty comedian. I don't even watch his shitty movies. You know, in every movie he was shit. He's a shitty actor in my opinion. But Peter Stormare's character was also terrible. So I hated that. So that's the cast members that I hated. But Julianne Moore as Dr. Sarah Harding did a good job. She was great. She's not, but yeah, Dr. Sarah Harding, she did a good job. I think she did a good job, respectfully. Her character, a paleontologist. She's no Alan Grant, but she's still a good in her role. So yes, I liked her a lot. She's good. So yeah, so that's cool. So she's good. Roland Tembo played Pete Postlethwaite. He's actually an English actor. Rest in peace. He passed away 2011, 10 years ago. He passed away. I think he was in April. So that's really bad. He passed away. I really do miss him. He did a good job. He was a hunter. He was hunting down. The male T-Rex trophy. He used the dart and tranquilizer, and he shot the T-Rex. He captured the T-Rex. I love that Roland Tembo survived. That he wasn't killed off. I love that. I respect that in the movie. Sadly now Roland Tembo is died because the actor died. He's no longer with us. But I love how Pete Postlethwaite filmed the scenes, how he was so great. You know, I love his head. I love that he's bald like me. He was great. I mean, the character was fantastic in my opinion. The actor did a fine job. Really miss the actor. I mean, another actor who worked on this movie died. You know, another great actor, in my opinion, passed away that worked on this movie. Just like was in the first movie that which I wrote down. Bob Peck, Richard Attenborough, who had the cameo scene as John Hammond in the final scene. He also passed away. And Michael Crichton also passed away, so that's really sad. Also, Joseph Mazzello and Ariana Richards, Tim and Lex Murphy, they both had a cameo scene, so that's awesome in the open scene when they meet Dr. Ian Malcolm. So they both reprise their characters with John Hammond. John Hammond, played by Richard Attenborough, he only had 2 scenes, so that's awesome. They had a smaller role. Harry Jason as RJ Sid, who did a good job. I like them. I like the jeeps, the jeeps with the hunters. I like that. Thomas Rosage Jr. Carter was okay. I think he was eaten by raptors later. But yeah, so that's the cast. Now my problems. First off, the first hour. The first hour is really slow. It's really boring. It's like a time waster. It goes nowhere around. Doesn't even move. But it's been said that the second hour is much better. The second hour and the third act save the film is much better. Those campus scenes, you know, the first Jurassic Park. Campus Gnatus campus scenes, you know, which in the open scene they were like attacking in parks, you know, those kids. That was the actress Camilla Bell, and she was the actress. Kathy Bowman, she was the little girl. Camilla Bell, she was also in the remake of When Stranger Calls 2006. She played a babysitter. I like the remake much better than the original. Hated the original, so that's a little girl. But I didn't like it when Dieter Stark was killed. You know, that was sluggish. It was the pace. It was unnecessary. That was campus, and then like the park, they attack him, and he was like he was like a badass, a tough at first, but then he gets eaten by them and attacked. You know, that scene I didn't like it. He was like attacked. You know. But that scene, wasn't really a fan of that scene. It could have been better, but it was kind of sluggish and the pace just wasn't. I didn't like that scene. And the first hour was boring. All I got was bitching and whining from Ian Malcolm. How is this? How is that? You know, Sarah. You know, I like him in the first movie. He was a badass in the first movie. I enjoyed him in the first movie. This movie, he was annoying as fuck. I hated the guy. He was whining and bitching through a whole hour, you know, until the second hour it was much better paced, you know. But the first hour is really boring, goes nowhere. That's why the reason is, to me, disappointed sequel could have been much better executed than it was, you know. So that's another problem. The problem was his daughter, you know, Kelly. She's a black. Why she's black? I was like in shock. How was she black? Who's the mother then? You know, no explanation in the movie. So that's another problem I had. I hated the actress who played his daughter. I hated her. Still hate her now. You know, I hated her. Or she's a gymnast and she swings and kicks the raptor. And raptor gets stabbed. I hated her. I really hated her. I hated the actress. I'm glad. And like I said, I hated Vince Vaughn. Thank God Vince and that black girl, the black kid, she was cut from the final movie, so the climatic finale makes up for the film and saved the film. So yeah, that's one of the problems that I had. It could have been much better. It wasn't that much exciting. This movie was more darker than the first movie and grittier. I liked it. Another problem was the John Williams fantastic music score for the first movie. For this music score was completely like they give us like a big fuck you. It wasn't that great. You know, it wasn't that great like in the first movie. I didn't like the music score at all that John Williams did. But yeah, the first hour was sluggish. It was kind of boring. It was sluggish. It was really boring. It go anywhere around. And all I got was complaining about and whining and bitching from Ian Malcolm, which annoyed me as hell. But the second hour then makes for it. In the third hour, the third act saves the film, in my opinion. So that's not the reason it's a good film. I think that already said I hated Vince Vaughn. I hated how he stole the from Roland Tempo's gun, his rifle, the barrels in which Roland could have saved people, but because of him, because of Vince Vaughn interfering, T-Rex was eating people. So because of Vince Vaughn, people are dead. So I hated him for that. So that's one of my problems. The first hour, the slow pace, which is really slow. Because the first movie had a magic. The first movie was so fantastic. You're like falling down. It takes the breath away. The first movie. The second movie, the first hour, goes slowly around and it doesn't do that much proper job, in my opinion. So that's one of the problems I had with the film. The sluggish, the pace, it could have been much fast-paced, but slow-paced, and it wasn't that much interesting until we came to the second hour. So that's my problem. Now, my favorite scenes and the good stuff. The good scenes, I already said, I love the animatronics. This movie holds 53% Rotten Tomatoes. It got so yeah, it was PG-13. Screenplay once again by David Coeb, and the good it got the computer generated imagery animatronics by Stan Winston. The visual effects are breathtaking, are awesome. For the T-Rex and Stegosaur are great animatronics. I think that they're actually really great. They're actually really great. Yeah, it was visual effects. Visual effects supervisor was Dennis Moran, so that was great. They did Compass. They did a Compass, which is awesome. The visual effects are breathtaking and awesome. They're fantastic. Animatronics by Stan Winston, the team that are created. Stegosaurus, T-Rex, the Velociraptor, Raptors, Stegosaurus, and Compsognathus, Compass. They did great job. They did fantastic job. So that's great. Visual effects are great. The second hour is great. The movie was filmed in Eureka. Filming started in Eureka from September to December 1996. Was released in May 23, 1997 when I was 13 years old. 1997 was my year. I love that year. It was a great year in my opinion. So yeah, filming started in Eureka and Fern Canyon, Prairie Creek, Redwood State Park. Yeah, that was in Redwood. That scene was in Redwood State Park. I took the slipcase off, which is better. That scene when you saw was actually Redwood State Park in California. There are two scenes that are actually filmed. In New Zealand. The movie is supposed to be New Zealand, but filmed, but due to the high cost, in New Zealand and financial benefits offered by Humboldt County, director Spielberg agreed to film the movie in California, and it became a central location where most parts were filmed. Los Angeles, California, and Hawaii, just like unlike the first one was filmed there. But yeah, it was actually Redwood State Park, in California was actually filmed, the movie. The Stegosaurus scene that was in Redwood State Park, that was actually filmed there. Now my favorite scenes already would describe the chases in San Diego. T-Rex, eats people, didn't like the scene with the dog, but he's like, we have a great screenshot of the buildings that sit in the night, and we see T-Rex, looks like Godzilla. That's my favorite scene, and I really do love the final scene. The climatic finale is the best of the film. It's like in RoboCop 2, when RoboCop shows up to meets his replacement RoboCane. In this movie, Ian and Malcolm have unfinished 7 score to settle with with the Tyrannosaurus T-Rex, and they drove into Theater Harbor and pick up the infant, and two security guards with the guns, and they say, if you want to stop us, shoot us, and they drove with the red car, red convertible. They go to the docks, and we see Peter Ludlow follows them. They go in the ship, in the cargo, they put the infant, they escape. Peter Ludlow tries to capture the infant, but T-Rex follows them because he's so angry. He gets pissed. He goes in the ship, surrounds Peter Ludlow and lets his baby T-Rex to have a lunch and goes and eats him, And meantime, now Sarah, when they both jump in the water, Ian goes on the cargo ship, and Sarah grabs a rifle and the tranquilizer dart, she goes, aims, fires right in the neck, and he falls. And T-Rex, he starts fading, and Ian closes the door of the cargo ship, the door starts closing on the ship, and he falls asleep. And that's my favorite scene. That's the epic scene. That's the best epic scene of the film. This movie, I already mentioned, was nominated for Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. Effects are fantastic, I agree. Julianne Moore did a great job. Best performance by Julianne Moore, in my opinion, as Dr. Sarah Hardin. I enjoyed the actress. She was great. Peter Ludlow as Peter Ludlow, played by Arliss Howard, did a good job. I enjoy him. And also, I did like the final scene, the surviving hunters go through field of tall grass. AJ warns them, don't go into the long grass, and they are killed one by one by raptors. I like that scene. That scene is awesome. It's fantastic. But yeah, I'll actually put this movie more, so far I'll actually put it more in the light category as my third favorite Jurassic Park film. I actually will see how Jurassic World movies went to, because I have not seen them a while. I remember back in 2018 that I liked The Fallen Kingdom a lot, the sequel to Jurassic World. But this actually was my release, my review, and on The Lost World, Jurassic Park, which is the sequel. So yeah, was released, which is my review on The Lost World, Jurassic Park, 1997. I hope you enjoyed and liked my review. Anyway, I like the film. It's a really good movie, a really good follow-up. But I felt a bit disappointed. I felt it's a disappointing sequel, a lackluster film with those problems. I wish there won't be those problems. Then I would probably say my second favorite. But when I was a teen, I rented those films on VHS tape. I actually rented the first and the second one, and that time I remember I liked the second one more than the first one. I liked it. I liked that they returned Ian Malcolm from the first movie. I liked it that Ian Malcolm was returned, and John Hammond and Joseph Mazzelli and Ariana Richards, and Richard Attenborough. They all had cameo scene. Rest in peace, the actor, the actor, Pete Postlethwaite, rest in peace. It's a shame he's no longer with us. But yeah, that's my movie review on The Lost World, Jurassic Park. I shall show you again the disc. I had to do it. Yeah, so I reviewed this film. Hope you like my review. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next review. That's gonna be the third movie, Jurassic Park 3. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.